What is the housing market doing in the greater Phoenix area? There is so much conflicting information out there, so let me share with you some data from the Cromford Report. Hi, I'm Nicole with eXp Realty. If you haven't noticed, I share a lot of information on the Cromford Report. These reports have been a leading indicator of how the market is trending and what we can expect. They are usually 3 to 4 months ahead of other market indicators, which is why I cite them as much as I do. So let's dive into these numbers. Remember, the index scores of 90 and below is a buyer's market, 90 to 110 is a balanced market, and 110 and higher is a seller's market. Phoenix Metro in a whole is now in a seller's market at 121.2. Now keep in mind, this seller's market is nothing like we've seen in the last 2 years. In 2022, our seller's market had an index in the 400s, 420s to 450s. We aren't even close to that. That just means the demand is higher than the supply we have. It just means you will see less pressure on price reductions, and in some hot areas, sellers may not even consider seller concessions. I've been out there showing a lot of homes lately, and I can tell you the demand has come back. We are feeling the resistance from sellers on price reductions, and my lenders are seeing more multiple offer situations come across. Things have changed. Over the past several weeks, demand was in the low 70s, but now it's getting closer to that 80. Supply is in the mid 60s and staying consistently there over the last 3 weeks. In general, our supply and demand are still below normal, with 100 being balanced. Demand is nearly 20% below normal and supply about 35% below normal, which is why the seller's market is not a strong one. Now let's take a look at the top 17 Phoenix Metro cities. There's a whole lot of green arrows there, meaning these numbers are favorable for sellers. If you look down towards the bottom of the list, you will notice there are only 6 cities that are in a buyer's market or a balanced market. Peoria, Surprise, Goodyear, Queen Creek, Maricopa, and Buckeye. However, these cities keep trending upward towards a seller's market, with Peoria being the closest. The main reason for these cities not keeping up with the other cities is because of the new builds that are still getting built and expanding. The resale homes have to compete with all the new builds incentives. But you can still see a strong increase in the Southeast Valley, with Gilbert at 25% increase and Mesa at 29% increase, and very well over the seller's market index threshold. Queen Creek also has a 28% increase, and we can add Santan Valley and even Florence as a comparable to Queen Creek. If you look at last month, Queen Creek was at 57.6 index and now at a 73.9. So these towns are moving in the right direction and heading into a balanced market. So if you are a buyer in these areas, you will begin to have a little more challenge when putting in those offers, or may not have the luxury of taking your time. And sellers can be more hopeful that their homes will not be on the market as long as we've been seeing and experiencing the last 10 months. Now let's look at buyer demand. This graph shows accepted contracts. You see this huge jump at the end of December, and we've been climbing since. Except there was a small dip this last week, but I believe that is due to the mortgage rates fluctuating a bit over the weeks. But we do believe this will begin to trend back up because we are all expecting those rates to come back down this spring. May 10th keeps floating around, so keep your eye on that date. When those rates start dropping, it will bring a flood of buyers back into the market. We may see price increases, more competitive offers, multiple offer situations, and seller concessions will be very unlikely. Buyers, I'm going to be honest with you, the window is getting smaller to buy when prices are lower, and getting seller concessions that are assisting to buy down your interest rates. If you have any questions about a specific area of interest, please reach out. I'd be happy to share what the data looks like and how it affects your scenario. Again, I'm Nicole at eXp Realty, and follow for more Arizona real estate tips and more.